Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second annual Link to the Past Randomizer Casual Boots Tournament. We've got a great match for you tonight. Group W featuring the number 1 seed of the group, Hitman1382, and the number 4 seed, DylanLee. I'm Drossi here with my good buddy Specky Specs. How are you?
I'm doing great, Drossi. Excited for this race. I believe this is the first restream match of the Casboots tourney, which literally just groups were announced 8 hours ago. So only a few matches have been played. There's a lot of rando in the next few weeks between all these Casboots group matches. So excited to see this get started.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. Should be a nice chill tournament. We have 176 people in it, which is just amazing.
A great turnout. Yeah, we're really happy with the turnout on this tournament. So, a lot of matches to get through.
And here we go. Uncle being pulled away by something random.
And just in case if we happen to have a new viewer, in casual boots, you start with boots, and you start with the sword, and you do have to do the castle escape at the beginning before you rescue Zelda, before you have access to the rest of the game. So it's called Cas Boots because it's usually a much faster mode. You have boots in a weapon the whole time, and you're required to do escape, which eliminates any silly plays around escape. This is really fun, typically fast mode. Yeah.
And one nice plus about having the boots for escape is you don't need to worry about your bomb supply because you can always just bonk your way into the back of escape.
Yes, it makes standard a lot more fun when you have boots, because you don't have to bomb farm or worry about what sword you're getting. So other things to note are, so for the next 3 weeks, there will be group matches. All 176 players are in groups of 4. Your goal is each person in the group plays the other 3 people twice for a total of 6 matches. And the people who have the 2 players in each group of 4 that have the best results will move on or have a chance to move on in the main bracket of the tournament. So you want to do well, get good results. You don't have to win every game, but you want to do pretty well, win most of your games in order to move on to the tournament.
Yeah, and then that's 88 people advancing. I'm not sure how you guys are working out buys, but in any case, it'll be some sort of single elimination best of 3 bracket.
Yeah, I think I actually need to confirm. Being a mod of the tournament, I should know the answer, but tournament just started. I don't have everything known, but I believe it's like basically like the lower 64 people who qualify are gonna make it in, or basically most people who get first place in their group make it into the main bracket, no plan. And a few people, I think like 4 of the top placers in the groups and all of the second place people in the groups will have to do like a play-in race. But I think it's either gonna be a best of 1 or a best of 3. So it's almost just like you have like a top 128 where a bunch of people get by as the first round. Is almost a better way to describe the tournament we're going to be having with how many people we had enter.
Yeah, because 40 people get in safely and there are 44 groups, so that's where the all but 4 of the first place finishers being safe comes from.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing we should explain is in this tournament, it's typical rando rules, the typical standard rules that you see, except for one change. The admins of the tournament did decide to allow Specky Clip, which in Swamp means you can skip the first switch pull, and it allows you to full clear Swamp out of logic without the hammer. So that is going to be legal for all races in this tournament. We'll see what happens. If it has a negative impact, positive impact, we'll see. But that's just something special to this tournament. We'll see if it even comes up today.
The catch with it is you do need hookshot. So if hookshot is, say, vanilla, that could be a problem if you're waiting to enter Swamp until you have hookshot.
Definitely. Hookless Swamp is even harsher to have to do because you lose even more time, because now you don't get the 20 seconds of time save from skipping the cutscene. But it also it does make a hammerless swamp less awful to go into for a hammer. So it's a trade-off.
By the way, have you noticed that we have gotten complete junk so far in the seed?
Yeah, we've gotten absolutely nothing. But both runners are about on par with each other. Going to escape here. Well, Hitman's a little bit ahead, but not too much, you know.
And we haven't gotten the map yet, so either in the back of Escape or Sank, one of those chests is just going to be the map.
Yeah.
So, hey, some bomb drops from the rats anyway, even though we didn't need to bomb our way back here.
Well,
nice to have for Cac.
Yeah, nice to have Kakariko. We will not complain.
Glove is very nice.
Okay, there's the map. So we have an item in Sank chest. But yeah, glove is super nice. Couple bombs already. Not a bad start. We didn't get much else, but a glove and a couple bombs. It's not too bad. Oh, bunch of bombs. Okay.
Yeah, Hitman realized they were in the bomb pack, so I wonder if DylanLee will realize that as well.
I got the one bomb, so they should know.
So, both of our runners are going to be fine on the bomb front.
Yeah, going to attack with 2 bombs is super nice. Like, in Cat's Boots, you don't care because there's a rock you can farm going into Cac for bombs, but often it's a lot faster to just get bombs, you know, on the way, like they did in this case.
And we haven't actually seen a map check yet.
No, most players do it after Escape. I expect Hitman will do one soon. I know, I personally do it during
There we
Escape.
go. That looks like a 5-6 on Desert, green pendant on Hera, and red pendant on Eastern. And of course, with the starting boots, not only are Bonk Rocks Sphere 1, but there's no reason not to check Lumberjack, because you know that as soon as you beat Aga, Lumberjack would be available.
Yeah, basically, Aga / Lumberjack are in Logic. They're just always a lamp away in Logic when you have a sword. Well, a sword or cape as well, but still, like, that's... You can expect to get another sword or cape early on. So almost just a lamp away in Logic. You have those boots and one sword. So yeah, you want to do the early Lumberjack check. And you can do it so quickly. And
with that bloopy on Lumberjack, I don't think we're going there.
Nah.
See if we get anything good in the Lost Woods. I mean, the glove's nice, but it doesn't really do anything at the moment. I mean, I guess it gives us access to Death Mountain out of Logic, but we can't really do much there.
Yeah, we'll have a better idea what kind of seed we have in front of us, obviously, once we get through CAC. But, you know, both players here are doing the standard play where you do Escape, Bonk Rocks, Lumberjack, Lost Woods, and the Kakariko, then the, like, Library Maze Race. It's almost everyone is always going to do some Cavs Boots. As a rule of thumb, Cavs Boots, normally the first 11 minutes are about the same every time. There are exceptions. Sometimes people will break some rules and break up the route at the beginning, but normally it's not going to work out for you in a positive way. It can.
Yeah, I mean, they're the hardcore CAC skippers who will just save and quit out of Lost Woods and go straight to South Shore or Saha's Hut or whatever.
So Dylan, go ahead and grabbing that Bonk Rock for bombs. That's interesting to do when you have 2. It's nice to have it for Chicken House. Make sure if you don't get any in Blind's Hut. I personally would have skipped it. Like there ended up being bombs in Blind's Hut, but not unreasonable to grab just to be extra safe.
And more importantly in Blind's Hut, we have the Titan's Mitch, so we are already Moon Pearl away from Dark World access.
Okay, cool. Also immediately opens up Keen's Tomb as an option. Not that anyone's going to go there immediately.
Yeah, that's intriguing. Because, yeah, with the boots, you don't think about all these extra available places, necessarily.
Nothing really to combine Keen's Tomb with, but I'd probably do it soon. It's a quick one-off you can do. It's not terribly slow.
Oh, okay. And there's our Dark World access.
Fire Rod. You can just beat Skull Woods right now. Just go up into the Village of Outcasts, beat Skull Woods. Right now.
That would be absolutely insane, and I'm sure I know some runners who would do it.
There are people who would do it. I mean, and most likely Skullwoods is a crystal because we've already seen 2 pendants in Light World.
Right, so 6 and 7 chance.
But honestly, this is a bit of a tough decision because now you're like, well, I could finish up all of CAC and go South CAC and then run up and do Vu. Or do I continue doing my normal Light World checks, like go South Shore, go to Saha? Like, now you have some options, and honestly, when you get the early Dark World access like this early in the seed, it's almost scary because you're like, I have almost too many choices. Which one's right? Which one's
We're also now almost at Zora money, and Zora's in logic with the glove. So, just to add to all the choices.
Yeah. This is a tough one. I feel like I'd probably go Vu first at this point, after I finish up CAC. Well, then I probably would skip Library in K45. I mean, Library in Maze Race was going to
The problem is if you rush Vu, you then have to make the decision of, do I want to do Hammerless Thieves Town? Ooh, there's Bombos on the race game. I think we're going to get that.
Yeah, that's definitely the con, because if you wait on Vu, and you go do South Shore first, some other Light World stuff, then you might be able to get more items that combo well with the Outcast. Like maybe you get your mirror, maybe you get a hammer, maybe you get a better sword or something to make it less terrible. And then the way you're gonna rat Dark World could be way more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, mirror would be particularly nice because then you can just fit in the Smith chain off the bat.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's see what Hitman does from his save and quit here.
Hammerless Analogic Ice Palace? I think that sounds pretty good, right? You could do that.
Yeah, there's that. With a fighter sword, no less.
It's doable. You got Bombos and Fire Rod. You got both fire sources. Okay, so both players here are going to discontinue to South Shore, which is completely also completely reasonable. Like, you actually have almost so many options that there's only a few things that I would have said are like kind of wrong choices. Like going up Mountain right now would be a little silly, but South Shore, or like a quick Saha check, or going into Vu, all 3 of those are pretty reasonable decisions right now.
And yeah, the speed could easily be sending us to Skullwoods, but getting that blue mail, if you're gonna do a 4-heart, 5-heart fighter sword dive of Skullwoods, that blue mail's nice to have.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I feel like if I was probably playing the seat, I probably would have done South Shore first, and maybe Saha area, and then maybe after that, probably do Keen Zoom into Vu is probably what I would have done. So basically, what they're doing right now, as at the current moment.
So 5 more items here, maybe a bit more progression. Well, now we really have all the money we need for the seed, and hey, a Master Sword.
Dang. Good Water Rock. I don't know if it's worth it right now. It's out of logic, but you could even skip Ice Rod Cave if you want to be aggressive here. Wouldn't be totally unreasonable with how much you have in front of us. This is when, in a lot of seeds, like especially when you get like a Dryer seed with less items early on, you pretty much always are going to Water Rock and cast Boots if you have Zora money, because you can do it so quickly here with Boots every time.
Yeah, and since we have the Moon Pearl, if we do get taken out of Water Walk by getting a 4th piece of heart in the waterfall, we're not screwed.
The half magic is really nice for Mothra. I'm already really happy to see that.
Yeah,
and,
so
let's go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, if nothing else, we've gotten some nice safeties for Mothula by doing South Shore first.
And both players are gonna go for the Water Walk. This is the fastest time to really do these checks. This is out of logic and could be a complete waste of time. So that's the con of, like, you know, when you do out of logic checks when you have so many in front of you. But this is reasonable, and I think the more thorough play. Hitman even doing Hobo, because as you mentioned, he has Moon Pearl. He can do this in situation. Without the Pearl, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to then check Waterfall. Does Hobo have anything? is the
And
question.
Dylan is...
Ooh!
Oh my god. I would have skipped Hobo too. Dylan skipping Hobo, not getting that bow. That's going to be a rough one to get back to. There's no
Yeah.
flippers to put in logic. And even when you get flippers, like how quickly do you go to Hobo? With what they have for options.
Now, interestingly, Eastern is a pendant. We don't know if pod's required, but we don't have any good reason to go into Eastern immediately.
Yeah, that would be a silly... But mirror on Zoro Ledge.
Mirror, mirror on the ledge.
And Hitman can splash delete to it. DylanLee cannot. There's no bow from Hobo.
Oh, yeah.
That's rough. That's like... Oh, that's rough. It's not over, but that's rough for Dylan. Hitman, that Hobo play with the bow really paying off. My god.
And Zora, for all that money, is just giving love lessons.
But at least Dylan knows about the mirror. Maybe they do a Hobo whenever they find the flippers. But probably not. We'll see when they do Hobo and get the mirror.
I mean, hey, remember in the main tournament there was a race that was decided, I believe, GGW versus CS Tutor because Hookshot was on Hobo.
Yeah, I remember that one now. Yep, that was it was an awful spot for CS Tutor. Hobo is one of those checks that can do that. When like flippers come kind of late, because oftentimes in cast boots I'm gonna skip Hobo unless I have flippers because it's kind of a slow check, or just some other things, and add a logic this early on. Hey man, it is gonna try for the splash delete. Yeah, they
didn't quite get it.
Oh, they're not gonna try again. What they did is after you shoot the third arrow, you need to immediately pause and put the bombs out, like to where you almost can't even see the third arrow. Hitman paused and switched to bombs like way after the third arrow was shot. So that's why that one didn't work.
And there's our map check. Swamp is our final pendant, so we do need that bow for pod, and TR is our other 5/6.
That's pretty much what I was talking about with Ken and chat before the race is, yeah, if it's a Specky Clip Seed, it's a guarantee. You get early hammer or Swamp's a pendant. So
well, here's your pendant Swamp.
This is not surprising. We're going to have like a few hundred races in this tournament, like 500 races or whatever it's going to be. And like all of them, somehow the trick's never going to come up. We're just going to get seeds that are all like, just avoid it somehow.
But yeah, both of our runners are now converging on Vu. Hitman's detour to King's Tomb didn't turn up anything, but I imagine Dylan will give that time back at some point. Oh, Hitman is going straight to Skullwoods, and honestly, he's a seasoned enough runner. I think he shouldn't have too much trouble.
Yeah,
with
5
this
hearts.
loadout.
Yeah, 5 hearts, blue mail, a master sword, a boner for backup 2, fire rod with half magic. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, honestly. One more heart would almost make it comfortable, but this is not that bad. Just be careful in the fight, and you should be fine.
And Dylan's giving us a look at Bumper Ledge here, which is just vanilla.
One thing to know is it would be better for Dylan if like the extra mirror checks Hitman's now gonna do, like probably maybe a graveyard ledge, but probably more commonly like, you know, K45 Smith Chain. If, you know, Hitman does those checks, they don't pay out, and then Dylan just gets items elsewhere and doesn't ever do them. That could save time and help out.
Hitman never did get the mirror, though.
Oh, I forgot about that. I just assumed they got Splash Delete. Well, never mind.
Yeah, after he tried the Ancilla Splash Delete once, failed it, and gave up.
Yeah, good reminder, Drosy. He doesn't have a mirror. Well, okay, never mind. Well, he has a bow. Okay.
I mean, the bow could be interesting if we wind up in Pod. Pod is not yet in Logic without either the hammer or the flippers. Or I guess a lamp to beat Aga.
Should I think about it? The number of races, we're probably actually closer to like 800 or 1,000 for the whole tournament. Sorry, I was thinking about that number. We have like 500 or 600 just in like the groups.
176 times 3.
Yeah, a little over 500.
Yeah, that's like 528 just in groups.
Yep. So quite a few matches, and hopefully we get to restream a decent number of those. Not, I mean, nowhere near all of them, but you know, a decent amount.
Yeah. It also, of course, depends on crews. So if you are interested in calming or tracking any of these races, we would love to have you. Just join the Discord, which we've put in chat. So let's see how these moth fights go. I guess Dylan's a room ahead because he didn't check bridge chest and Hitman did.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So we get pretty much simultaneous drops into moth, so now we can compare. Again, Hitman, the much more seasoned runner here. But Dylan actually gets moth down slightly faster. Oh, well, I guess we'll be getting the mirror soon.
Okay, game. Well, okay. So that means Hitman and DylanLee, we can expect both go get the mirror soon. I guess I see what you probably could do it right now, because you can combo it in with more of Vu, but you could also just stay in Vu for a little bit longer. But the whole walk back to the front of Skull Woods and down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's our first item out of Skull Woods, right?
Yeah.
So we do want to get the second item. And then, yeah, I agree. I think you get the mirror because you know where it is and it just helps with Dark World routing so much.
Yeah, and it's not since you have mitts, it's not as bad to come back to Vu. You have mitts and boots. Like, it's not that bad. So we'll see.
Now the question is, how much time do we need to waste in the front to finally get that second item? Oh, hello, Samaria. That's a good second item. Oh,
Yeah.
but Hitman's walking out. He is not saving and quitting.
Okay, which is so reasonable. Like, it's a tough call here whether you save and quit and go get that mirror immediately or wait.
You know, it may be cliche, but this really is a Skullwood's got the good seed.
Yeah, flippers in Samaria. I mean, we didn't need the flippers technically, but it makes getting that mirror easy, and now we have a clear logic on the bow and the mirror.
And who knows, maybe there is something in Swamp and we do absolutely need the flippers. Hammer in first chest? It's possible.
And Swamp? Ugh. Yeah, it could be.
And Dylan also walking out of Skullwoods.
Another thing I'm thinking about is in both their shoes is Hitman knows it's possible the opponent got the bow from Hobo. They also know it's pretty reasonable the opponent may not have gotten the bow. So they know there's a chance that their opponent got the bow and splashed deleted to the mirror, while Dylan doesn't even know about the bow and isn't even considering that the opponent could have even gotten it, most likely. Now it's at the flipper, it's like, oh yeah, my opponent hasn't gotten that mirror yet. So they're both in like... They're both thinking very different things about that mirror at the moment, or some different things about it.
And they're both doing hammerless crystal thieves. So if you're coming in here, it's a crystal, you want to be blind. But then you're gonna have to see whether you're leaving an item in here or not.
Yeah, I'm with them. I'm always taking this risk. If I can beat Thieves with Crystal, I'm here in like a non-keys mode. I'm just gonna do it. and take the
Well,
risk.
we've got 2 items. They were both junk. There's a 3rd item. So, yeah, now you feel pretty safe because it's a pretty low chance. I mean, it's 50-50 that the small key is locking itself, and you really don't have to worry. And in the other 50%, it's then only a third of the time that the last item would be there. So
A
it's
really
only
low
a
risk.
1 in 6 risk that you'll be leaving something in the big chest.
Now the question is, without the mirror, do you really continue south from Thieves? You know, you could do it with Smith's Chain later, or because you also have Hype Cave. Like if you didn't do Hype Cave now, well, you could go up the mirror and then come back, do Smith's Chain south of Vu and into Hype Cave, or you could just go straight to Hype Cave and do like Digging Game and Stumpy on the way, and do those mirror checks later. That's actually a tough call.
Also, I have to say, it is nice to see, you know, a newer, less experienced runner being able to pretty well keep pace with a more seasoned runner here.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how new Dylan is, but I know they're newer. And honestly, overall, they're playing pretty well, making pretty good choices. Like, very respectable, definitely.
Well, Dylan's first race time race was last September. He has a few from last fall.
Okay, yeah, that's all pretty new by most standards.
And then he took a break after November and didn't start playing again until about a month ago. At least, not on race time.
That makes sense, because I've only been seeing their name like the last month or so on stuff. Which doesn't mean that that's only kind of been around. I've only seen their name for like a month or so.
And notice that the runners did realize, oh yeah, we have all 4 items. We don't even need to open blind cell chest.
I always always mess it up and check blind chest, even when I know there's no item in it. It's so hard to break muscle memory like that.
I mean, it's so rare that you get all 4 items that quickly.
Exactly. It's so rare that it's weird when it happens, and you're just not ready to save time.
Dylan doesn't know the blind script, though, but with half magic and Berna, he is not in any trouble.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, the script takes a little while to get down, and everyone messes it up sometimes. So yeah, having that bonus nice, though, is a good backup.
And Hitman continuing on. This is surprising me, because I feel like you'd want the mirror here so you can route in Smiths and K45 and... Oh, no. Right. Get the digging game out of the way in any case.
That's very good, because you could just do this now.
I mean, I would save and quit after this so that you can do the rest with the mirror.
It's tough. I can also see the argument, though, that, you know, Smith's Chain's slow. You don't have hammer for hammer pegs. You could just hope you can skip all of it forever in the seed, and just go straight to Hype Cave and then grab your mirror later. It's a tough call.
And you don't have book for Bombos either.
Yeah, so between hammer pegs and Bombo's tablet, the potential maybe Pendant Swamp Dive later, you can argue like maybe you just save those.
It just seems like the mirrors are next progression. Because we haven't really gotten any other progression lately.
Technically the bow, which came into logic with the flippers as well, is progression we haven't followed yet, and to pod.
Right. I mean, you don't want to go independent Eastern, and camera-less pod isn't that great either.
Yeah, I think here Hitman's probably, like, at least with their Hype Cave, they probably go get the mirror after that. They could swim over and go to pod, but I feel like you wait.
Also, we didn't explicitly say, but now that we have the flippers, and with TR being a 5/6, and therefore Hammer can't be at Pyramid Fairy, we know this is not an Agaseed. Mushroom.
Okay, Hitman's gonna swim over, it looks like. Swim over to the pod area. Or at least east, Dark World. Which, I guess the argument is you don't have hammer. Okay, change your mind. Because, like, here... Like, let's say the mirror, you go follow that next. Because Mountain's still out of logic, but you could do it with mirror and mitts. But, like, getting back to East Dark World, if you don't get a hammer soon, is a...
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, what if hammer's in Cave 45 or Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah, I mean, you could do Graveyard Ledge, because after this, after you follow the mirror, one of your options are you do Logic Mountain. I don't think it's a strong play. You could do, after that, what you're probably going to do is you're probably going to go back to View, and then you're either going to take the north route to check Bumper Cave, do Graveyard Ledge, maybe do your Keen's Tomb if you haven't done it yet. I think both Rhinos did Keen's Tomb. I know Dylan did. And
I know Hitman did King's Tomb. I don't remember Dylan doing it, but maybe he did.
Okay, and I think they both did. So you can do those North Darkwood checks, and then maybe check Pyramid and stuff, and then route into Pod. Or you go South Darkwood where you just roar and do the Smith Chain stuff you missed. So you have a couple options here, but both don't feel great. But I don't know, this is a tough call when you get this mirror. And the late not having hammer and this late mirror honestly makes the routing decision really weird. Also, Dylan got the bow from Hobo. That's huge. That's really good news. So Dylan's
I'm glad he went there, or this would the seed would eventually start getting away from him.
Yeah, it's good. Otherwise, yeah, as you said, it may not have been a close race. But with that bow, still have a close race in front of us. Both are still very much in this race. Okay, do you think Hitman goes north route to east Dark World, Drowsy, or do they go south?
I think north. And he'll probably prove me wrong.
Yeah, because I think as you do north, they might be tempted to do Catfish and Pyramid Tornin.
Yeah.
But that's so slow, and a Catboot Seed, you really don't want to do it.
Okay, he is doing north. Now, I like this because it is stuff you wouldn't get too readily otherwise. South, it's easier to, put that all together. You hope you have hammer before then, so that if you do Smith Chain, you can also do hammer pegs.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to go north here. You've already went to the south area. You can't full clear that hammer or book, arguably. Specifically the hammer with pegs and stuff. So, like... Yeah, this makes some sense to me. Oh, a sword, nice.
Not gonna say no to that, that's for sure.
No, that's definitely worth it.
Is Dylan going to the mountain? Out of logic? With Pendant Hera?
Looks like it.
Interesting play.
It definitely is. How far did Dylan go in Dark World before they saved and quit? Did they make it to Hype Cave?
Yeah, he made it to Hype Cave. He has the mushroom.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
And that's another argument for going this way. You can see Hitman has the mirror out. He's gonna turn in the mushroom here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have flute. This is a great way to do it. Now, I wonder if he goes to Catfish after this. Like, if you do Catfish now, you're never doing it. So
right, I think you do Catfish.
Yeah, because if you don't do it now, it's just, you're never doing it.
Now, we should note that this does give up fake powder. Not that, like, fake powder's super attractive without the hammer.
Yep. I didn't see what Old Man had, but I'm assuming...
$300.
Okay, we already got plenty of money. Okay.
Ooh, there's Cape on Spec Rock.
I think we did see Bumper Cave. It could put we already had Borna, so
yeah. So it doesn't actually do anything for us, but it's a nice to have.
Yeah, might as well grab it if you're mirroring there. It's nice enough to have versus Borna.
So, if we climb Hera, we're gonna have to do it the vanilla way because we have no hook shot for Herapot.
Yeah, I personally think you just leave after check map chest. You could keep going, but that's quite the play when you have so many things open still.
Yeah, you're decently out of logic, but Dylan's committing.
Okay. It's if you
Oh, look at Pyramid Ledge. Two-sword
yeah.
advantage to Hitman.
Okay, Grandfather Legend Pyramid Head Soros. Okay. I feel like Pod's gonna have something at this point. We don't have a whole lot left. That's in logic. How do you go to Ice Palace? Hammerless, which is pretty gross. We can enter Swamp and check the first two chests. No, first chest. First chest.
I mean, looks like Hammerless Pod is Hitman's move, which honestly is pretty reasonable at this point. You know, the hammer, it does affect your routing a bit, but you do have the mirror, and other than that, you know, the boss.
Yeah, you're in Saha now. Nice. And then we still have Smith's Chain stuff, which we didn't do. So there's still plenty of things to do that are in logic. But yeah, you definitely need Pod. Especially when you have Saha left. And you can do Eastern after if you really wanted. Although I don't know. If Pod will probably pay out. But if Pod didn't pay out, that's a tough call. But you go do like Smith's Chain now? Or Eastern? I feel like Smith's Chain. But Pod is probably going to pay off. And this will be an irrelevant thing I'm bringing up.
Meanwhile, in Hera, it's a 50-50 whether Moldorm has the second item. And then you've come all this way, you've done this out of logic. I think you have to do the basement if he doesn't have it, and Dylan gets bodied by Trolldorm.
And I think chat was bringing it up. Dylan, is it guaranteed that basement has an item now?
No, he found one item.
Okay, so it could be a Mold Jump.
Yeah, I was saying it's a 50-50.
Okay, got it. I wasn't sure if he found 0 yet or 1. Okay. It is also green pendant, so you can combine it with Pi, which is probably what Dylan's thinking. When you go to Saha.
Okay. Trolldorm has the second item, so we don't need to touch the basement unless we really want a compass.
Okay, so Dylan will be able to easily turn that green pendant in while they're going over to Pod. So I'm guessing now they either have the question of North Dark World or Smith's Chain over to Pod. They're probably gonna go North Dark World, but we'll see which way they go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously North Dark World would be a good route because getting off of Master Sword is nice.
Yes, because if you don't do that route, you may never get 2 more swords with where they replace.
And wow, we've already picked up 4 small keys before going to right side Pod, so either they're 2 items right side, or we have one of the legendary 5 or 6 key fronts.
Being that our bow and mirror haven't given us needed progression yet, this could be our bow, maybe pan off. Yeah, that is correct, chat. The only clip or rule difference in this tournament is Specky Clip. Everything else is normal rules. Nothing else has changed. Oh, lamp. Okay, well, that puts it back a Pod in logic. And mountain.
Yeah, so now Hera's in logic.
Oh, also, Dylan's doing Smith's Chain. I just noticed that. So
yeah.
We'll see different things.
We'll see if anything's there. Otherwise, I think Hitman's... Well, or if something's on the green pendant. Otherwise, I think Hitman's developing a lead.
Yeah, but with what Dylan's choosing, and also Dylan can still check Pyramid while going to Pod. Still, with this routing, it'd be a little other way, but if they get a hammer, they definitely could do it.
And at least Mushroom and Catfish are both junk, so he's not going to be screwed that way.
And Powder for Hitman, he can logically go do Powder check.
Yeah, no one likes to do that without the hammer because you lose your mirror portal to do it.
Yeah, it's terrible, because in this situation, Hitman's could either be going, do I want to do Smith's Chain?
But Dylan's doing it. He is fake powdering here. Wow.
I doesn't even know the powder is in logic, and it's going to go for it. Interesting.
Also, given that the big key was in Harmless Hellway, this is not remotely a go-modable pod, so... even if there's nothing here besides Lamp, the full clear isn't really hurting Hitman.
Yeah, no, you definitely. This is probably something you definitely full clear with the way the seats has the items at. Like you definitely need to come in here and full clearing it. Does the other bow? Logically locked behind the other bow because of the lamp, but you could have easily gotten that if you didn't have the bow yet. Assuming you just big logic and do dark pod mace. Okay, so Eastern or okay, Hitman's gonna do Eastern before considering Logical Mountain now, which we know has nothing besides maybe Green Pendant, but Hitman hasn't seen it. And before Smith's Chain, Hitman is choosing to do Eastern here.
And you don't even if the mountain's in Logic, you're still not that excited to do it without either the hammer or the hook shot.
Yeah, absolutely. You even have a book for Ether Tablet. There's just nothing that strong about Mountain right now, like. And if you don't do Eastern now, it's a good detour back. So, like, the only thing that's really scary if Hitman right now would be like, Smith Chain has something? Did I miss something against Smith Chain? That's probably the scariest thought for Hitman at the moment.
Oh, Dylan's gonna get his Tempered Sword now. Well, I guess that Eastern dip is required since we just pulled the flute and Myers a crystal.
Okay, not even bow locked. Of course. Of course, it's a Sphere 1 flute. Sounds about right.
So hey, the mountain was in Logic all along.
That's true. Yeah, we just didn't know it. I don't think Hitman goes that deep here. I know I wouldn't. I think, did he only get 2 items?
Yeah, he's gotten 2 items from the first 2 chests. So yeah, I agree. You're not gonna waste time trying to find the 3rd item. I mean, you got the big key here, check the big chest, and then you're out either way.
I probably would have left after flute, but this is still reasonable.
I can see this. It's quick enough.
Oh,
God, there you go, 3rd item.
Okay, God Eastern. That's a really nice Eastern layout. Okay.
And except in the very unlikely chance that something's on PED, we're not going back there.
And your Hitman's activate the flute. Going to follow that. Yeah, now mountain's open. You probably go to my area first because now you can do Crystal Desert. You can check what the Maya Medallion is. You can do Checkerboard Cave, Mire Shed. No one's done Nagina's. There's a bunch to do in that area.
Yeah, I mean, if you can open Mire, you can beat it. 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah, you definitely do it. You have 2 crystals over there. One guarantee beat, maybe 2, and a few overall checks. Yeah, Tyler, I'd say that Hitman's been making like the more efficient decisions. It feels like Dylan is like between the Hera play and the fake powder check. It seems like Dylan feels like the problem. Maybe either that's how Dylan likes to play, but to me, not knowing them, that feels like how you play if you think you're maybe like an underdog and you need to make a play.
And by the way, Myers Ether, so we're not going in there immediately unless the key's under the doormat. He's under the doormat.
I feel like this is a seed where Hammer's going to be in like Desert or Mire. Probably Mire. This is my hunch at the moment. Mire before Desert. I guess because it's spooky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I would take the hit on Spooky potentially and do Desert, because then I can check Ledge, I would do Checkerboard Cave, and maybe 2 items in Desert. And then maybe I could feel comfortable skipping more of Mire. But you still need Hammer, you need Ice Rod, you might need Quake. Unless you're going to roll them 2, you probably want the hook shot. So, yeah, if you do Desert first, you can get some progression. You're probably still having to full clear Mire. So, I get the reasoning here.
Okay, we are going to see Dylan's last out for being able to make up some time. Is Green Pendant anything? No. So now Hitman decidedly has a lead.
Yes. And Hitman's already done, like, they already did Catfish and Pyramid and Graveyard Ledge. They already did a lot of the gross checks. So I mean, there's still some other ghost things that could come up later if our progressions be not on the way. But yeah, Hitman definitely has a pretty good sized lead here.
And given the layout of Pod and Eastern, Dylan basically has to retrace all of Hitman's steps. The only place he can really save time is if he leaves Eastern as soon as he gets the flute.
Yeah, or if like our hammer is in a gross spot. Like one of our main items is somewhere weird, like the ice rod, somewhere really weird, and Dylan just makes a huge play and it works out, and Hitman also keeps it, which is probably not gonna happen, but could.
I mean, I guess something crazy like ice rod on Ped, but even then, we'd need the hook shot for Swamp.
Yeah.
So Lamp and Silvers were the only things we got out of Pod, right?
You are correct.
Though again, the big key's pretty far back, and you need that regardless of anything.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen it. Have you seen an item here in Meyer?
No, we've just been getting small keys and I think the compass.
That's what I was thinking. So we still need a big and 2 items. But once you do the cutscene chest, you might as well check the rest of the chests, because this is the big time-consuming thing.
Yeah, well, I wasn't super paying attention, but I think Compass Chest had a small key, which means cutscene must have the big key.
Yeah, Compass Room did have a small key, so a big key should be here. Yeah, you definitely don't go into Ice Palace yet looking for your hammer. You still have Desert, some overworld checks that aren't bad. Hitman still has Mountain, Smith Chain with Magic Bat. Like, those are plenty of things Hitman and Dylan would do at this point before hammer was ice.
Honestly, this isn't a bad place for Hitman to be. He'll be at 4 crystals at about 50 minutes.
Nah, the only thing Hitman could really feel bad about so far and see, I mean, they might feel a little bit bad because they... Well, I mean, the Dark World routing was really rough, because when you have no hammer, and you end up with these, you tend to end up with weird routing anyway that feels slow. It always happens. So Hitman might feel a little bit bad. Like, maybe they could have, the Dark World routing could have been a little more efficient. Maybe they could have skipped Catfish and save time. And maybe they could have gotten that flash delete for the mirror. But I think Hitman should know that with the way the items have been laid out, that you know, they've been making very reasonable plays, and the things that they've done are just reasonable plays that have worked out. You know, they've all been really reasonable plays that he's executed well. So Hitman shouldn't feel too bad.
Hey, Specs, did you notice that we just got our first bottle 46 minutes in?
No, that's pretty gross. So it's a kid, right? It's a kid.
Yeah. Hammer on sick kid?
Oh. Nice. And we did a bunch of sequence breaks, and we still couldn't even get a bottle. So, okay. And I think there's going to be an item on Vidi here, it looks like, right?
Yep.
This should be a very easy Vidi fight. You have half magic with Bona, you have silvers, you have golden sword. You know,
yeah.
pick your choice.
Right.
Pick what you want to do. Yeah. Oh, and you can powder. Well, you can't catch the fairy, but you can powder for a health refill. So yeah. And silvers are obviously the correct choice. So the fastest way to kill a Vidi when you have them. So. What's your item? Is this the hammer? Oh, the bug net, the fillet. That's what we needed. Nice.
Did Dylan grab the silvers?
I didn't look. I would think so.
I would think so, too. I just didn't see him go to the bottom of Dark Maze. Okay, chat's saying yes, thank you.
Yeah, I would have thought that would have been weird, especially with the lamp, putting it in logic. That'd be extra weird. Okay, no hammer and Meyer. I'm disappointed. Did we see what ledge was?
The ledge was like a bloopy.
Okay. I never saw it.
And Dylan will be getting his flute, so again, the question is just, does he exit when he gets the flute, which we know will save him like a minute. Hey, there's the hook shot. Sitting
Okay.
on Desert Torch all day long.
Okay. We can do a lot more mountain. With the rules in this tournament, we can go to Pendant Swamp, but that is a terrible choice. But mountain is now looking really good, because now you can do all of East Mountain, you can do Hookshot Cave, you can do basically all of Light and Darkwold Mountain really nicely.
Yeah, the
So-
only stuff you can't do is you can't do Spike Cave and you can't enter TR.
Yeah, and at this point, we need Hammer, we need Ice Rod, maybe Quake. So Ice Rod, it'd still be mean. Could be.
And yeah, I like Hitman's routing here. See if Landmo has the second item, and then you never need to touch right side desert.
Yeah, big time save just if it's this opposite map over there.
So presumably Dylan activates the flute and goes to Meyer area, and you know, if nothing else, it gets him a hook shot, but it doesn't help him catch up as long as he's just following Hitman's footsteps.
No, Dylan would have to start like just like admire, like skip all the checks, get the big key, and go. And I keep doing that in all the dungeons and Overworld, like just minimizing their checks. But they have to recognize that they're well behind in the moment, that's the difficult part. To know that, and then know what skips you can try to go for to keep the chances, more alive.
Yeah. So how do you want to do Landmo's? Fire Rod or Silvers? Looks like Hitman wants to do Silvers.
It should be Silvers. It's faster, but like the way Hitman did it.
I mean, we could have
Nice.
even done Butter Sword if we'd wanted to.
Okay, so right side does have an item in Desert.
Yeah. Not the end of the world.
I feel like you probably go ahead and do it, unless you want to be like, unless you think you're behind, you gotta save time, which I doubt Hitman feels that way.
Yeah. And then you still have Checkerboard and Aegina anyway.
I could see maybe skipping Agina's. I mean, if I feel like I need to save some time, but I wouldn't skip Checkerboard Cave. Yeah. If you're being safe though, you definitely don't skip it, because you never know the Ice Rod's going to be, or maybe that Quake, or Hammer. Still, we still don't know. But probably a lot of our progression is just on Mountain at this point.
Ooh, Dylan is doing Purple Chest now, which means we'll also see Cave 45, which we haven't seen yet.
And they're doing this for there's the Hammer. Okay.
Well, Desert was the answer.
Okay. So go to Eastern, get your flute, and you get your hammer. So hammer and hook shot were 2 items in Desert. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on an Ice Rod / maybe Quake hunt. So, yep, here we go. By this point, you probably go ahead and beat Pod, and you beat Ice before heading to Mountain. That way, if you can just get your hook shot / maybe Quake if it's needed on Mountain, you don't have to climb Mountain a second time after Total Rock. But it does mean you can't go mode Ice.
And unfortunately for Dylan, all these, like, off checks that he's doing haven't turned up anything.
No, unfortunately. Dylan's definitely going for plays where they're like, I feel behind, I need to get something. That's definitely how it seems at the moment.
Yeah.
Because their hero didn't pay out. They probably feel their hero play they probably feel really bad about. And that's what happens when you do a play like that and it doesn't work out, is then you feel like you didn't have to make more plays to make up for the play that you already didn't make it happen. But I mean, that's just how Rams could go sometimes. You can play that way, and I'm sure Dylan's totally fine with accepting the situation.
Right, and meanwhile, Hitman has no reason to even go to the mountain. He'll finish Pod here. Ice Palace is fully in logic, full clearable, so he'll do that next, and then he'll go to the mountain.
Yeah, makes sense. The only con is you can't go mode Ice potentially, but that's way better than having to go full clear a bunch of mountain you may not need to do, or having to climb mountain twice to do Ice after TR. Like, that's just objectively what you should do at this moment. Finish up what's not a mountain that's required to do the crystal dungeons, and then head up mountain and do all the quick checks to look for the ice rod before you head to TR. Because I mean, you at least do Paradox Cave and like Hookshot Cave with Super Bunny, and you can make a decision on things like Spiral or Hera, because Hitman hasn't done Rest Side Mountain either yet. But you at least do like the big bulk checks on mountain before going to TR probably. Honestly, it'd almost be good news if TR is Quake, because then it pushes you to go do some more looking before diving it for Ice Rod.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't really talked about it, but yeah, Ice Rod and potentially TR Medallion are all we need, and as always, the Ice Rod can be anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... I mean, the grossest spot at this point is Swamp. Swamp Ped. What else do we even have? Neither players checked. A Spike Cave, as always.
Yeah, now Dylan's really feeling behind because he got to that flute late. So he can be pretty sure he got to the hook shot after Hitman.
Yep, and then when they get this hammer, yeah. But I think after the Hero play, they kind of knew, like, I gotta find something tricky here. Oh, there's hammer pegs as well, which is out of the, or more out of the way for Dylan at this point. Hitman needs to combine with other things. But it's probably just a mountain anyway. It's probably on mountain or in TR.
Yeah, there's so many checks on the mountain.
It's probably just there, and we probably don't even need Crake. So this probably won't be a rough Ice Rod hunt. Don't quote me on that, but it will probably be not a bad Ice Rod hunt.
And there's Dylan's hammer. Again, I think overall Hitman's routing of the Mire Desert area was more efficient than
Sick
Dylan's.
Kid. A cook Sick Kid.
Oh, yes.
House. I like
Good
it.
old Sick Kid.
I like it. What? Oh my god. What? That's so dumb. That one bottle that was in Mire Big Chest, the first bottle we could ever get, even breaking all logic we did at moments, and that leads to your Ice Rod. And now you're minus maybe quick your own go mode. That's so silly.
I mean, you're in Schrodinger mode, and I think you go mode Ice. You check everything on the way, but I don't think you go to, like, Iced Tea.
No, you assume you're probably in go mode, so you only check things on your way. And even then, most of the checks are not in Ice Palace. So many on the mountain and NTR, because you have, like, in Hitman's case, he has literally the entire mountain. Every check on mountain, he has not done. So the odds that Ice Palace has a Quake that he probably doesn't even need. There's nothing he could get that makes Ganon faster. He has Silvers, Half Magic, a Borna, Blue Mail, and a Golden Sword. And he has Powder and a Bug Net. I mean, really. Like, everything you have.
Gee, Compass in the Compass Chest.
At this point, I probably skip Compass Chest. I'd just be go moding. But this is getting not unreasonable. You know, Hitman's taking it safer, doesn't want to risk that chance, and that they probably feel good about the seed and know that, like, it'd be silly to throw it by skipping something like that and it being required Quake in there.
And with Hitman's loadout, it was so easy to take care of the Pengators anyway.
Yeah, it's not like you're just doing it with bombs and a fire sword or something. Although bombs don't even take that long either.
But he is clearly planning on at least partially go moding because he hit the switch, so he's not necessarily planning to get the big key, depending where it is.
Yeah, well, that makes sense to me. Yeah, especially if it's in, like, Iced Tea. We'll see how much more they check. Like, do they even bother checking map chest here? I wouldn't. Nope. And they already got a key, so just gonna skip the key grab as well. I would check this one, but this is probably the only one I check.
First shield at 58 minutes.
That helps for the Ganon fight and climb. That we needed.
Oh, definitely. I mean, nothing like taking your plastic Fisher-Price toy into a Ganon fight.
Okay, well, we got the big key anyway.
Of course, because you're not looking for it. So you find it.
Okay, you got 2 items. Not checking a whole lot. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Now, we also know that since we haven't seen any other bottles yet, as far as we're concerned, Dylan needs to full clear Meyer to get that bottle for his Ice Rod.
Yeah, I could. If you feel behind, if I was behind, I would have skipped some of these minor checks, including that big chest, because I would have not gotten that bottle, and I would probably not be getting my Ice Rod anytime soon. So, but my guess is the way Dylan's been playing, they're probably gonna full clear Meyer. I guess so. It probably won't be an issue.
Interesting choice by Hitman to use Bombos there against Cold Stare when you have the Butter Sword anyway and the Fire Rod's faster.
And you got the third item in ice. Nice. So we skipped 2 checks, did 6 of the 8, still got all 3 items. So no chance of a quake here that we probably don't need, but still, like, no risk at all.
Yeah, this game's been pretty nice with the dungeon item placements. I mean, God Eastern, basically a God Ice.
Meyer was kind of a God Meyer, considering you wanted to full clear in that situation. It was kind of an ideal layout overall for that situation. So even Meyer was pretty nice. The only thing really gross about the seed was basically the flute in Eastern was kind of gross, which you eventually got led there, so it wasn't terrible. But someone could get that a lot earlier, and you could have done more checks than Hitman did, like he could have done Smith Chain, which he avoided. And then to get the hammer out of desert. So basically, the flute was really the gross thing in the seed. Everything else has been pretty nice. Oh, maybe the bottle for Ice Rod. Maybe the bottle.
As long as Turtle Rock isn't Quake. I mean, the bottle for Ice Rod was just silly.
it was. There's probably another easy to get bottle here on Mountain. I'm sure, or at least probably a couple. It's unlikely like all 3 are just like in GT or on trying to do something silly. But.
And yeah, I agree with Hitman. Just making a beeline for Turtle Rock. If you can open it, you're in go mode, and that's that.
Yeah, there's nothing you want otherwise you could get.
And it's Ether. That is go mode.
Okay, both dungeons are Ether today. Cool. Okay, overall not that bad of a seed. It was just kind of awkward with that hammer and flute placement, and technically the Ice Rod too. But overall, still, as you said, it was a mostly nice seed.
And Dylan is going to get that bottle, so he will be in go mode as soon as he visits Sick Kid.
Hopefully they do. Would feel bad if that's the one thing that they choose to skip to save time.
But it's so easy with an activated flute to just pop back there.
It is, but you could definitely... I could see someone not checking it.
This was a fun seed overall, I'd say.
Yeah, there was there were a lot of moments where you can make different routing decisions, and how you clean up things. When do you go to pod? How do you route in pod? When you go into Dark World with those old emits? When you get over to Eastern for your flute? Do you check Sick Kid with that weird bottle? Like, there were a lot of moments to make different and interesting decisions in the seed, and for that reason, I think it was kind of a cool seed. I wouldn't have mind playing this one.
Yeah. And, of course, the bow placements were interesting. There's always a bow in pod. And the hobo location. With the flippers being a bit later, it's a good thing Dylan went back there.
Yes. And we did get the big key TR, so I expect Hitman will, steal the key, probably skip big key chest and big chest, and take the 3% chance of, not being a small key in Crystal Roller or Laser Bridge.
Dylan's doing cape and buttersword strats. I mean, it's not that much slower than Silver's. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah. At least they didn't do Borna strats.
Yeah, that would be slow. So Dylan will now presumably finish up Pod and do Ice, and then the only question is, when does he visit Sick Kid?
Yes.
Oh, he's gonna do Ice first, okay. Hitman taking the very small risk that Lava Chest and
Oh, there's another bottle.
Yeah.
Sick Kid now for our Ice Rod.
Yeah, I guess that's your fallback if you didn't do Meyer Big Chest.
Yeah, there you go. Seed's not that mean. That's not that bad.
But yeah, if Lava Chest and Big Chest both have small keys, then we're backtracking a bit.
I honestly always freak out at this moment when I'm doing 3% risk. Because the second time I ever did, after knowing about it, I got 3%ed. I've not been 3%ed since, and it's been like 5 months since then. But
I mean, I know
it
some
happened to me
people.
once, so now
I
I'm
know
afraid
some
of it.
people who just always do Big Chest.
Yeah, some people don't. I mean, you lose so much time if you never take the risk. So it's you kind of have to. You have to take the risk because it's so much time loss. If 97% of the time. Okay.
Bubble and red mail, that's something at least.
Okay, that's a key. Ah.
Vanilla key, of course.
It's always the last one. They want to make you sweat. Whenever you make that skip. It's either the last laser bridge chest or it was crystal roller. It's like never anywhere else.
Was what crystal roller?
Oh, I'm just saying that small key when you make that skip in TR. It's
Oh.
always either in crystal roller or it's the last check in laser bridge.
There is no in between.
Yes. It's gonna be a very quick fight. We'll see if you see. Okay, you're gonna do it from the front here versus the back. So it will be a one cycle Tridex, you might say.
Now, Dylan is not in go mode, so he is going to be clearing ice, though. As we know, the 3 items are all on the way anyway.
Yep. So it'll feel extra bad if they do go to Ice Tea, because they might do that. Because the third one's on the boss.
And that is 7 crystals for Hitman.
Yeah, time for GG.
So specs.
Where's the big key?
Yeah, well, where do you think it is?
5. Number 5.
Oh, right, you always do 5.
Location-wise, though, I'll say DM room today.
I always say rando room. I like rando room. It's so rando.
No, red room's good. And yeah, chat, if you want to participate, you can type a number 1 through 22, where you think the big key is going to be. Feel free to make a guess. Okay, hope room strats, looks like.
And we get a small, so presumably going right. Ooh, 2 smalls.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and do compass room.
I think this is where Obscure would do tile room.
I'm disgusted just hearing about that.
I think 2 smalls in Hope Room would be enough to get him to do tile room. So, junk, junk, junk. There was your 5.
Okay. Well, 6. Yeah, there's my 5, and that was 6. So next check it will be the torch will be 7. Although I want the big key to be in DM room. That's my favorite. So I'll accept 8 through 11. Wait, what did you pick, Drosty? I never actually asked you. Oh, you said random room. You said random room. I remember now.
Yeah. I guess 14 if you want it to be that way. I like it to be the bottom left in rando room.
Should be 16, probably. Let's see.
Okay, where to now, Dylan? He just took down Colster. Okay, he's going to take down Helma. And then he needs to go to Sick Kid.
Yep.
Well, that's 12 checks down in GT. Another weird thing, we haven't found either boomerang yet.
Yeah, I was noticing that. There were no boomerangs for right side and none for left side. Very sad. That's what we needed. We needed boomerangs for the seed. Not playable. We need to keep looking for items.
Yeah, I was just looking like what could we even find in GT at this point? And I was like, oh, we don't have any boomerangs.
Boomerangs, book, arts. Oh, 2 more bottles.
Yeah, maybe a bottle with goo in it. Imagine that. I think they both had bees.
No, mind, it's 14. I was thinking.
Okay, wasn't in my chest.
Okay, that's 17 checks down. We have 5 more to go.
Yeah, 20% tile room now. Maybe Obscure's gamble would have paid off if he were here and playing this seed.
Nah, it's here in Bob's chest for the big key area behind Ice Almost. It's one of those, definitely. I actually haven't had a tile room seed in like little months. It's been forever. Well, okay, I must have been playing Key Sanity mode. So that's the actual reason why.
Well, here's Bob's chest. I love how if you powder Bob, the other anti-fairy in the room turns into Bob.
I never noticed that. Huh.
Yeah, we just saw it happen. Next time you play that room, take a look. There it is on check 20. Dylan, you don't need to worry about silver arrowing Helma. It's just 2 butter sword slashes.
Yeah, it's about equal there. If you do actually, the quick swap, it's probably going to be slower, and trying to get the shot aimed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better off just using the sword in this situation.
Right. No, and not just aiming it, but also then the lag of firing a silver compared to slashing.
Okay. Are we going to get our Ice Flash from Sick Kid? I'm thinking Dylan won't. No, we're going. Never mind.
Yep, loot to 3. Okay, so this is going to be his go mode.
I'm glad I'm wrong. Good. Nice job, Dylan. At least he'll be in go mode. And there'll be a little bit in the TR probably before my finishes up.
Not that he knows for sure that it's go mode, but I have to imagine you beeline for TR at this point.
Yeah, because you can easily do all the mountain checks. Also, in Dylan's case, they've already done the rest side mountain minus Spike Cave. So it definitely makes sense to go. TR immediately.
Hitman having a bit of trouble with the gauntlet here. But he's on to the last room of it now. And by the way, since we haven't said that yet, why not give these runners a follow? They've been both playing a great game tonight, and I look forward to seeing more of both of them in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those 6 group races for both of them. The goal is you don't have to win all the races, so even Dylan's still very much in this tournament. And even then, it's still a lot more games to play for both of them. So, neither one of them's guaranteed to make it top 2 and make it into brackets yet. So they both still have a lot to go.
But again, we see Hitman's better routing. Okay, Dylan got the red meringue out of Super Bunny Cave, but it's like, what are you expecting in Super Bunny Cave at this point? And now you have to do a couple of extra portals because you need to open TR portal.
Yeah, you definitely tell Hitman is definitely a more experienced player, has a better idea, of like the faster decisions, what things to prioritize, more what the meta decisions are, like in routing choices. Yeah. Because Hitman hasn't done anything crazy. They just played like good. They just made good, solid decisions, good, solid execution. Biggest thing was maybe like they chose to hold off on Smith Chain, which ended up working out. As I saved a bunch of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, he could have skipped Hype Cave, as it turns out, but, like, I don't know anyone who would skip Hype Cave in that situation.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, he could have left Eastern after the flute, but really there are very few things he could have done appreciably better. And here we are on Aga 2. Geometry time. Ooh, almost got the triple.
Almost got it, yeah. Pretty close.
See if we can get a triple here.
Nice.
Yep. So 1-2-0-3.
Yeah, that third position of Aga was definitely more tricky. That's when I usually have trouble with myself. Not that I'm great at the fight. I shouldn't say that like that's it doesn't. I'm not great at Aga 2.
So, you think Hitman can manage Buttersword Silver's Ganon with half magic?
I don't know. I mean,
he doesn't have any potions. I'm a bit worried.
Doesn't have 14 hearts. Doesn't have no potions. No fairy. I don't know. No boomerangs. What you really need.
I think that's more than enough hits on the phase.
Yeah, I feel like for me, a lot of other runners, I feel so much more awkward in golden sword fights. Because, like, why you don't have to get all these hits. It's almost just like, do I just do my tempered sword routine? Or what do I do? Like, what do I do with all this extra time? How do I actually place myself?
Just make sure Ganon's really feeling the burn of your sword.
Yeah, it just feels almost silly. Like, how should I actually expend my time on the golden sword fight on the first 2 phases? I definitely get hit way more when I'm using golden sword versus tempered.
Oh. This is kind of odd that Dylan... again, I'm not sure what Dylan's looking for going to Lava Chest. Like, if you want to hedge against the 3%, you go to Big Chest, not Lava Chest.
I expect Dylan maybe just doesn't know TR routing as well, would be my hunch.
Anyway, get your GGs in for Hitman, who just needs to cross this bridge, and he will take the first game out of Group W.
Yeah. GG's to Hitman. You definitely want to start off with the win, but as we said, Dylan's still in it. Hitman still has more to prove, but a great first win by Hitman.
And Hitman finishes with an official race time of 1:18:21. And at least for the time being, it looks like Dylan's going to play this out. To answer chat about the groups, and as Dylan accidentally locks himself out there, he also checks the race room, sees that he has lost and does forfeit. So let's try to get both of our runners in here.
And yes, to chat, there are 44 groups in this tournament because there are 176 people playing in this tournament.
So what does it go up to, like AR, I think?
Yeah, because you needed 18 additional groups.
Yeah.
Yep. Which that'd be, 8 less. That'd be AR. Yep, you're right.
Let's see if we can get them in here for an interview. This is not under any sort of restream delay, so runners coming out of the main tournament or Challenge Cup probably aren't used to getting an interview invite right after they finish.
Yeah, I do. Dylan will be joining us here in a moment.
And we are joined by DylanLee. GG.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's, Dylan.
Woo!
So, yeah, what did you think of that seed?
Not expecting to find hookshot and hammer in desert.
Yeah, that was quite the desert palace after so many things turned up empty.
Ugh.
But yeah, can you guess what decision swung the race?
I just did a bunch of extra stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, in particular, going to the mountain to do Hera was where you guys first really diverged.
Right. I don't know. I was hoping, I took a gamble hoping something would be up there, and I lost.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you didn't actually find out it was in Logic until you do Pod and Eastern.
Right.
And then Hitman also avoided Magic Bat and Smith Chain.
Right, I got that mushroom. I'm like, you know what? I can fake powder and just check and see. I was looking for so many items, so.
Yeah, and of course, as Spec said, of course there's no Specky clip because since it's allowed, that means Swamp has to be pendant.
Right, is that going to happen every seed?
That's what I'm wondering, because that's what I always see in pickup races.
We were wondering with the early flippers and Mirror if either of you would be baited into checking the first chest of Swamp, but fortunately neither of you did that.
Right.
Man says he's getting ready. He's in the waiting room, so hopefully he'll be joining us momentarily.
Okay.
So Dylan, how long have you so we were looking at your race time when you've been playing Rando and race time, but and I must have been hearing your name a lot, like I've been seeing you more like the last month or so. So I guess what I want to ask is this, like, you know, how long have you been playing Rando around this level? Like, how long have you been practicing and improving?
My whole Rando journey started back. I started the Kabuki Hundo tournament.
Oh,
and
okay.
That was like my very first match was at Kabuki Hundo, and I would get like 3 crystals, and I was against like Wind Fox and oh my gosh, other names
So
eluding me now.
that's why you have all those races on Race Time from last fall. I was trying to figure out. I figured it had to be some sort of event because I saw all these 1v1 races from last fall in your Race Time history.
Yep. Yeah, it was Finch. And I'm like,
Ah,
you know what? Why not just jump in? I asked the racing council what's the best way to get in. They're like, well, this is starting, and then you've got ladder. So as soon as that was over, I started doing ladder. Just wasn't getting any better because I wasn't practicing. So I took a break from like March till the mentor tournament started, and I've done pretty decently there. So
Nice.
cool. And we are
all
also joined by our winner, Hitman, by the way. GG.
GG's Hitman.
GG's.
GG's, Hitman.
So I played two seeds with the Specky clip allowed, and I have not had it come up yet.
Sounds about right.
I mean, given where Hammer and Hookshot were.
Oh man.
But yeah, just really nice, clean routing. Do you have any thoughts in particular on it?
I need to practice my splash delete.
Oh yeah, there was that.
But other than that,
Yeah, Specs was saying you hesitated a bit too long after firing the third arrow before switching to bombs.
yeah, that's what I gotta clean it up.
But hey, you did get that early bow. Dylan, we were a bit worried about you whether the seed would just totally get away from you if you never went to Hobo, but fortunately, once the flippers showed up, you went there.
Yeah, I thought I'd clean that up, so that's what I did.
Yeah, nice second bow in the back of pod.
Because, of course. At least you both did Eastern. I mean, we were, I guess it makes sense since you're right there after pod, but it was just funny with the flute.
Yeah, there's really, when I was there was not a whole lot left that was fun to do. So it just made sense to go into Eastern.
Same.
I think at that point, Hitman, you had a little bit of Mountain you could do logically, because you just got Lamp. You had Smith Chain, and yeah, you had Eastern, and that was pretty much it.
Exactly, yeah, so Eastern seemed like the place to go.
Yeah, and GG on keeping off the mountain. That was pretty amazing that you did not do a single check on the mountain besides, inside TR.
Yeah, that almost never comes up. I was so expecting Quake to be the required
Same.
Chat sure wanted that.
with yeah, probably with Quake being in like Ice-T or something, since I skipped that. Although
Nope,
actually,
nothing in Ice-T.
I think I got all 3 items out of Ice Palace anyway, though. So
Yeah, that was the other thing, that Eastern and Ice both had just very nice item layouts. Oh yeah, and good thing both of you full cleared Meyer.
oh yeah, for that bottle.
Yeah, we never did see the other 2 bottles. We saw you both get the one in Crystal Roller.
Yeah, I decided to check Sick Kid before going into Ice, just in case the Ice Rod's there, so I can somewhat go mode Ice Palace, and it actually was there, to my surprise.
Yeah, I guess that was another thing that, saved you a bit of time, that you actually, checked Sick Kid before Ice Palace.
I don't know, Hitman, what I want to ask you is, so at the very beginning of the seed, when you got the meds and you knew where mirror was, and you got the flippers to put the mirror in logic and make it easy to get, like, that's a tough situation when you have so many options and different ways to route Dark World, and when do you get the mirror? So I'm just curious to hear you describe why you decided and what you did in the seed.
I was thinking about just finishing my Dark World loop before getting the mirror after Hype Cave, but then I was thinking if I get the mirror, go back into the Dark World, I can hit up the entire North loop, take that into pod, and then it just made it a lot cleaner. This way I can double that up with Eastern and back of Saha.
Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking. Is you could either do what you did, or if you just after Scorewoods you immediately leave for the mirror. You could then do South Darkhold for Smith Chain, but then you leave North Darkhold, and then it's a little more. Then you have to do Smith Chain. So like, there are a few ways you could go about it, but the way you did ended up working out really well. Smith Chain had nothing, so it worked out well for you, and it's definitely a good play.
Yeah, with different item placement, it could have easily bit me.
Yeah, I mean, just in those kinds of seeds, where like when Hammer comes so late, routing Dark World and Chaos Boots in any mode can be tricky to know like the right risks to take and the right routing decisions.
Yeah, I mean, even Thieves Town had all the items before even getting to the Maiden.
Oh yeah. Yep. And then blind sell you didn't have to check. Yep.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, and you both remembered not to open the chest in blind cell.
Always counting to myself.
Is there anything else either of you want to add, Hitman or Dylan, about the seed or how it went, or the rest of the groups for you?
Not really, no.
Well, I guess I just want to say thanks, Hitman, for doing this tonight. I just got excited. I wanted to play, so I appreciate that. You making time after work there. And I appreciate Drosy and Specs for doing this. It's always fun to be restreamed. So
Yeah, thank you guys for agreeing to a restream at the last minute. I was just like, we have a late one tonight. Would be fun to get it on stream.
Definitely. Good way to kick off the restreams for this tournament.
Yeah, and on that note, we will be we'll be trying to restream at least one match a day through groups, really depending on how many signups we can get for crews. So if you want to see these matches restreamed, please, again, join the server, sign up to Common Track, and that'll get more groups matches restreamed in the Boots tournament.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of matches, a lot of good matches that probably gonna get missed. But the more restreams we can get or have, with the more volunteers, the more great matches we can put on. So any help from anyone in the community is appreciated.
And for that matter, speaking of groups matches, my comm partner here, Specs, has his first match in a little over 8 hours.
Yeah, in like 8 hours. It's the next match on the schedule for the tournament, so probably won't be on restream because of that. But if you want to watch a Cast Boots match, my stream in like 8 hours, 8.5 hours, will be another match. Me versus their name is Kanos, a very good player.
Yeah, and we got at least 3 other matches already on the schedule for tomorrow. So yeah, just keep an eye out on the schedule, and we'll give things restreams as we find them and can get crew for them. And once again, do give the runners a follow, because again, I look forward to seeing how you guys do in the rest of groups here. But I think that'll do it for us now. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to this last-minute late-night broadcast, and hope to see you around for more matches.